It's been 6 years since I've been to the Easter show. I went with Brenda last time, and we made tons of memories. But a lot has happened since then, with adulting keeping me busy and an increasing amount of excuses. It's postponed making new moments. But what if I went again? What if we went again? As with everything last minute, we went on the last day of the Easter show. The weather said sunny with a slight chance of rain, but we'll hope for the best. The thing is, today I want to recapture some of the moments Brenda and I did 6 years ago, and see whether anything has changed. Speaking of change, what hasn't changed is our sense of direction. Luckily for today, we don't need the map, because we're going to explore some of the places we didn't get to explore last time. And I know just where it is. But before we go there, we made a stop at the World Bazaar. We decided to save our money because right outside it gave us a sneak peek at some of the Showbags. I didn't buy one last time, but I hear about how popular these are. Maybe we'll stop by and get one later. Finally, after a bit of walking on this sunny morning, we made it to our destination, which I'll call the garden. To be honest, we don't have the best track history at growing plants, but we don't have much growing space at home anyways. So it's nice seeing all these plants and vegetables alive, and these ones were huge.
Yes.
Where's the champion? That one.
I know, the supreme champion.
What?
Some good lettuce.
Your commentary is just... Look at that lettuce. Look at that lettuce.
And we weren't wrong. That lettuce and others were champions. And we soon realized that this venue had other champions as well, from the art exhibit to all these jars of honey. Looking even further, there were shelves and shelves of competitors everywhere. I couldn't imagine how much work it takes to put in a submission for this. Mine probably wouldn't even have made it on the shelf. We eventually walked over to a crafting section. Brenda crochets, so she was super excited about all the submissions. But there were actually some crazy crocheted pieces here. Not the typical plushies I'd see at a Sydney art market, that's for sure. This bonsai cherry blossom tree was my favorite. I can't believe we missed out on this 6 years ago, but I'm not sure we would have appreciated this as much as we do now. We eventually made our way through the arts and crafts, but before we left, Brenda had to do some quick shopping. It was getting to that point in the day where our stomachs were asking for attention, so we had to scope out what was there to eat. Sushi? No thanks. Cheese stick? Maybe. Lemonade? We'll come back. And the search went on, and on, and on. We were outside exploring food, but we realized that there was more food inside. So of course, we had to go in. This place was what I called the food dome. Self-explanatory, there were people selling sweets, but it was too early for that. There was also gelato, again too early. But we walked around to see our options. There were these massive fruit and vegetable displays, and yes, there was a champion. But being surrounded by all the smells of food made us even hungrier. We landed on a chorizo cup as a quick snack, and this was delicious. We might even need to come back for more. But we soon realized that there was another building to explore, filled with installations and surprise, surprise, more food. However, we had our snack, but it was time to get some lunch. So we headed outside, got the iconic potato on a stick, and some other items. Because you can probably guess, this was a moment we had to recapture. With our potato stick, we had a meat pie, and that lemonade. All the while thinking about what our next activity will be. Being older now means I tend to get food comas quite often. We ate quite a bit, but luckily there was this stadium nearby where we could just watch the horses and take a moment to sit down and look around. Because I'm realizing that the moments we remember are the ones where we are consciously present, where we do things intentionally and explore with curiosity. Speaking of curiosity, a big thing we were curious about were the animals. The Easter show is notable for the majestic animals, and they did not disappoint. There was a discovery zone with drones and installations for kids, but we made our way to check out the goats. Most of them were still eating their meals, except this guy. Each of them had their own unique features, but this one seemed to have some beef. On the other side were the largest piggies I've ever seen, all of which were taking a nap. But we weren't done yet. Just a quick walk over, there was another place where we could pet some animals, the nursery. Inside was a free-for-all, animals roaming around that you can feed, and some that you can admire up close. There was a mix of goats and sheeps in here, and they would just come up to you. I love seeing how different each of them were. In the back, you could see some caged exhibits. There were chicklets. But I love seeing the guinea pigs. Of course, there's rabbits. And whatever these fur balls are. The chickens were larger than expected. But we continued roaming around, finding more friends, and seeing if they wanted to be friends with us. Just next door were these mega cows and alpacas. I called this one Cusco. Remember when I said that the weather would be okay? Well, my weather app lied. All day, we've been searching for this elusive Gongcha Showbag. We didn't find it over here, but hey, we got some tea. And after a bit of rehydration, we made our way over to the building of Avians. There were all kinds of birds in here. Some were curious about you, and others couldn't care less. As we kept combing the different aisles, we saw hens and ducks. But this guy, he's a dinosaur. One of them even laid an egg. We started entering the aisles where the birds were just getting ginormous. This one was apparently Chinese, and then we landed on the turkeys.
You look scared.
Yes, I was scared of them too. So we went over to a less scarier place with some sheep. We got to see all the wool and the wool producers. I was a big fan of this one's hair. So we are determined to get a Showbag. Apparently there's this huge hall full of them, but first we checked out a dog show. Okay, enough distractions. We eventually made our way to the pavilion, and guess where everyone else was? I don't think I fully understood the emphasis when people said that they were going to the Easter show for Showbags. It's like a kid walking into a candy store with all the different sweets and toys for all ages. Brenda wanted one from a specific brand. Unfortunately, they were sold out. But the search was finally over. The Showbag we've been looking for was here. There were 3 options, and we decided to go with the one with the huge bottle. All this walking was making me thirsty again, so luckily it came with a drink. What's an Easter show if there wasn't any Carnival Games? I know people also go on the rides, but I don't know if my heart can take such movement anymore. Instead, we went on the search for a prize, while vicariously living through others on the extreme rides. Eventually, we landed on this game. You just had to put in a ping pong ball into the clown, and it would land on a number. The total amount after 5 tries would be the prize tier you could get, but sadly, we weren't so great at this game. However, that doesn't mean we gave up. We kept trying, and trying, and trying. The result?
Mini prize!
And even after 6 years, we still get a pity prize. Some things never change. We thought we'd give this ball toss game a go. It was like tic-tac-toe, where you had to get 3 in a row. Can you guess the result? And of course, we had to recapture these moments as well. It's been a long day of walking, so we took the moment to find somewhere to rest. Again, this allowed us to just take everything in. And when we were ready, we went off to our final activity. But we had to stop by these saloon doors first. And check out some of the horseback riders. They were so cool. The last time we were at the Easter show, we went on a Ferris wheel. It was one where it not only lifted you up, but it also let you spin yourself around and around. I was hoping to find a similar one, but this one would have to do. Last time we rode the Ferris wheel at nighttime, but this time will be during the day. Luckily for us, the clouds started moving away and the sun was starting to come out again. I promise I didn't time this, but when we looked down, we got an amazing view of the parade. And a moment that I'll never forget. And while we could see everything from up here, there was still one moment we had to recreate. This day is coming to an end, and the clouds were telling us it was time to go. But before that, we had to go back for some chorizo. We got a really good deal. So, what do I think? Although years have passed, things have changed. But at the same time, other things have stayed the same. And even though events like these are expensive, the memories are priceless.